Lucien Vale didn't believe in fate. He believed in control of people, power, and pleasure. The Vale Empire, built from shadowy investments and blood-thick contracts, towered over the city like a king's castle. No one dared question the billionaire, or a man, with a single whisper. So when he entered Club Nocturne that night, dressed in his signature charcoal Armani and flanked by 2 bodyguards, the room bent to him. Eyes lowered, conversations paused. Women stared, men moved aside. He ordered his usual, scotch, 3 fingers, neat, and sat in his private booth. A wall of smoked glass separated him from the common crowd. He liked it that way, watching, not participating. Power was best enjoyed from a distance, until she walked in. She didn't belong in a place like this. That was the first thing he noticed. The second was her dress, crimson, sleek, and scandalously backless. The third was her smile. Not the bashful kind, not seductive either. It was the kind of smile that knew exactly what kind of trouble it was about to cause, and was going to enjoy every second of it. Lucien's drink halted halfway to his lips. His heartbeat ticked up just a notch. Something about her was off. Not wrong, not dangerous, just different. "Who is she?" he asked without turning. His bodyguard Mace murmured, "Not on any guest list." No background. She walked in like she owned the place. Lucien chuckled. She just might. He watched her navigate the club like a predator in a velvet jungle. Every man turned. Some tried to approach. She brushed them off like cigarette ash. Her eyes scanned the room, searching, calculating. And then they found him. They locked. His ice, her fire. She smiled again, slower this time, deliberate, and walked straight toward him. Lucien leaned back. This was new, uninvited, undocumented, untouchable. She stood at the glass, one perfectly manicured finger tracing it in lazy circles. "Are you going to make me knock?" she asked through the glass. Lucien raised a brow. "Are you always this bold?" She tilted her head, "Only when it's worth it." He gave a nod, and the glass slid open with a hiss. She stepped inside, leaving the scent of jasmine and smoke behind her. "Name?" he asked. "Ember," she said, "like the last spark, before everything burns." She sat down across from him without permission, crossing her legs slowly, knowing exactly how that move looked from his angle. Lucien was used to control, but right now he felt like he was playing a game she had already mastered. "You don't belong here," he said. "Oh, but I do," Ember replied. "I've been looking for you, Lucien Vale." That got his attention. No one used his full name, not unless they wanted something, or knew something. He narrowed his eyes. "You've got 10 seconds to explain why I shouldn't have you removed." Ember smiled, leaned forward and whispered, "Because I know what you really are." Lucien's blood chilled, and not from fear, from excitement. Lucien Vale never let anyone see him unsettled. In the boardroom, in the bedroom, even when threatened with knives or blackmail, he remained in control. But Ember had struck a strange chord in him. A woman walking into his domain, uninvited, untouched by fear, and speaking like she knew something no one should. He studied her, not just her body, though that was temptation sculpted in silk. He studied her energy. There was a quiet rage under her sultry confidence, a flickering tension in her jaw despite the curve of her lips. "You're playing a dangerous game," Lucien said, voice low and sharp. Ember tilted her head. "Only if you think you're the only one with secrets." She sipped his drink without asking. Bold again. Lucien reached across and took the glass back. "Who sent you?" "No one," she said, licking a drop of scotch from her bottom lip. I came for you. His eyes darkened. Why? Ember leaned in close enough that he could smell her skin. Jasmine, rain, and something like burnt sugar. Her voice lowered, turned smokier. Because you're not just a billionaire, Mr. Vale. You're a predator, and predators recognize their own. Lucian's pulse beat in his ears. She knew, or thought she did. He had gone to great lengths to bury what he was. His wealth wasn't built just on stocks and mergers. It was built on old blood, older magic, and a pact made under a crimson moon. But this woman, this Ember, spoke like she had read the fine print of his soul. I should be offended, he said coolly. You're turned on, she replied. And curious. That's why you haven't had your guards throw me out. Lucien grinned, wolf-like. You're not wrong. He gestured, and Mace stepped back out of view. He wanted privacy now. And danger. Ember crossed her legs again, a slow motion that made his mouth go dry. I came to offer you a deal, she said. Lucien raised an eyebrow. Do you think I make deals with strangers in red dresses? No, she purred. You make deals with demons. That's why you're alive. His smile faded. Dead silence. Then a single word. Go on. I know about the ritual, about the binding of Vale, the tower you built on cursed land, the power you pull through blood, not just paper. Lucien stared at her. Ember's voice was velvet and venom. I'm not here to blackmail you. I don't care about your empire. I care about you. Why? He asked. Why me? Because I'm like you. Lucien frowned. A secret-keeping seductress with a death wish. A survivor, she corrected, of power, pain, and things worse than men like you. There was a flicker in her eyes. Anger, history, something broken but still burning. Lucien leaned back in his seat, a sudden respect crawling up his spine. I don't know what you are, he said, but you're not just a woman in a red dress. She smirked. Neither are you just a rich man in a dark suit. Silence stretched again, thick with heat, challenge, and something primal. Lucien reached into his coat and placed a silver coin on the table. Its surface shimmered unnaturally under the club lights. Touch it, he said. Ember didn't flinch. She slid her finger over the coin. The silver flared, glowing blood red, then hissed with smoke. Lucien's eyes widened. Who are you? Ember slowly stood. She leaned over him, her face inches from his, and whispered, Your next mistake. Then she turned and walked away, hips swaying, leaving a scorched fingerprint on the coin, and fire in Lucien's veins. He didn't stop her. He couldn't. He watched the crowd part for her like a spell was cast, until the red dress disappeared into the shadows of the night. Mace returned, eyes flicking to the empty seat. Want me to follow her? Lucien stared at the coin, still warm. No, he said slowly. Let her run. A pause. I want to see if she burns. Lucien Vale didn't sleep that night. He stood by the glass wall of his penthouse, watching the city below pulse with artificial stars and neon breath. Somewhere in that sea of lights, she was out there. Ember. She had touched the coin. The silver had flared. Only one kind of person could do that. Someone marked. Someone bound. He hadn't seen one of her kind in years. Not since he made his own deal. Not since the Circle of Seven bound their blood and fortunes in a ritual that traded mortality for mastery. Lucien thought the others were dead or hiding. But now, a woman appeared. Not just aware, but part of it. And her secret was deeper than she let on. He turned toward the room's shadowed corner. Call Sorin. The shadows moved. A man stepped out, silent, pale, dressed like the night. Find her, Lucien said, but don't touch her. Just watch. I want to know everything. Sorin nodded once, then vanished like a thought slipping away.